Afternoon, everybody. Kamari here. Welcome to the Finance Rebel Show. I just wanted to stop in real quick and give everybody a quick update about some things. I know things are changing every day. People are wondering about their stimulus payments, when those checks are going to come out. People are wondering about when the business payments are going to come out, for the PPP and the EIDL. And everybody's seeing that the banks, I think Wells Fargo are withdrawing from the whole SBA program, and the government has to rethink that and reshape that and come back out with some new additions. But I wanted to share, 9 things that all taxpayers should know during this time of COVID. I came across an article, I'll share it, and I was inspired by it. So I said, you know what, I should put this out there. And I'll add that link into the bottom as well. It's from Financial Planning Magazine, one of the financial planning magazines that I get. But after I read it, I read it again, and I didn't like everything. And so, I did the rebel thing. I changed it up. But here it is. Not going to be on too long, not answering any questions right now, but I wanted to get this out to as many people as possible. So I'm pretty busy today. So do me a favor, y'all share this with anybody who might have questions about what's going on with the IRS right now. And I'm also reading from my iPad because I haven't had a chance to commit this all to memory. So first thing to know, all right, you want to go to the source with everything. Who's the source? The IRS is the source. All right, the IRS is the source for all new information about new tax regulations, COVID stimulus updates, refunds, the whole nine. There is a lot of shenanigans and scammers rolling around right now. The scammers are getting busy right now, but guess what? Scammers are always getting busy. Scammers always get to the money. So, maybe we need to adopt the old scammer energy just without the scam, because they're always figuring out a new way to hustle somebody out of their money. So listen, don't believe some of these fake checks that are floating around out here. Don't believe some of these calls that you're getting. IRS ain't calling nobody, but we're going to talk about that in a minute, okay? So remember, IRS is the source. That's where you want to go to when you're talking about anything tax related or stimulus check related. All right. So number 2, there's not much help available right now. IRS phone lines, nobody's answering. All right. They're just ringing busy, or they're just ringing forever and nobody's answering. So know that, nobody's there. That's why I said nobody's really calling, and the IRS rarely calls anyway. So keep that in mind when it comes to scammers. I get scammer phone calls. They're hilarious. I try to record the calls a lot of times, because once I figure out they're a scammer, I did start playing games with them. By the way, the scammers I get in my inbox too, 9 times out of 10, I know you're a scammer. I can tell by your line of questions. I play mind games with them too. If I'm bored, right? If I got stuff to do, I just delete them and move forward. All right. So remember, there's not much help. Everything's basically been extended to July 15th. So the IRS, in their mind, they're kind of off until July 15th. And they're not really off, but it's limited staff. And if you've been following me for quite some time or recently, I've been talking about, staffers being sent home to work from home. Some staffers getting furloughs. IRS and Social Security offices have been closing for a couple of weeks now. So this is nothing new. This is nothing strange. But, I've been telling you this, and so I wanted to bring it to you again and tell you again. All right. Tax audits. Tax audits are on hold until further notice. So if you are concerned about a tax audit, you're undergoing a tax audit, I'm sure there's still some correspondence that's going out right now. But I wouldn't be super duper concerned about getting like caught up or any garnishments. Now, I say that with a quick caveat. Me and my other accountant friends talk all the time. And so I have a couple of tax pros who have had clients that have gotten garnishments, wage garnishments, like take money out of your paycheck type garnishments during this shutdown. So sometimes things happen because the IRS will say one thing, or the government in general will say one thing, and they wind up doing something else. So always keep that in mind. So like I said, tax audits are basically on hold unless it's dealing with a tax refund or a tax refund hold. All right. IRS collections enforcement is on hold. So if you thought you're about to get audited, or you haven't filed your taxes in a while, or you owe a whole bunch of money, they're not coming to knock on your door just yet. Guess what? Yeah. The IRS come look for you. They pull up on people. They come knock on your doors, sometimes at your house, sometimes at your job, sometimes at your place of business, a lot of times at your place of business. So keep that in mind. All right. IRS enforcement or collections is on hold again until July 15th. Now, since you can't get through, you can't, get any help. If you can't get any help on the phone, your tax pro's not going to be able to get much resolved with going to the IRS right now. If it's a dire situation like your wages got garnished, you might want to you should contact the taxpayer advocate. Taxpayer advocate advocates for taxpayers. That's really what it is. It's an arm of the IRS that literally advocates for the IRS treating taxpayers fairly. That don't mean they're going to get rid of your debt. That don't mean they're going to, set everything straight, but they will make sure you don't get abused, if that makes sense. All right. So if you can't get through, many of your taxpayer advocates are open. All right. The IRS is still processing tax returns, right? I've talked about that as well. Currently, they are still processing tax returns. However, see, I got meetings to get to. However, that doesn't mean that things don't get messed up. That doesn't mean that these human beings that are working in these processing centers can't get sick. All right. So again, keep that in mind. They're processing tax returns, but you should still file your taxes as soon as possible. Actually, I just did a video on that on my YouTube channel, talking about that, talking actually to people about if they don't have any money, because I know a lot of people got laid off. There is a way to file your taxes for free. I only recommend that, though, for people that have very, very simplistic and simple tax returns, maybe, one W-2 or two W-2s. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody that's a business owner or a real estate investor, or that has anything complicated with a whole bunch of, let's say, stock trades or something like that. All right. Don't worry. Your stimulus check is safe if you owe back taxes. All right. The IRS is not coming to snatch your stimulus check if you have back taxes. The intention of this bill, I feel, is right. The spirit of it is correct. The implementation is something else. Clearly, the administration didn't really think this thing through as much as they could have. However, they're not coming to snatch your stimulus payment, your $1,200 or $2,400 stimulus payment, plus the $500 payment for your children that are 16 and below. They're not going to snatch that if you owe back taxes. All right. Passports. Anybody that owes $50,000 or more to the IRS, they're having passports revoked. However, during this time, there's a stay on that. They're not processing those. So if you owe that much money, and believe it or not, there's a lot of people that owe that much money, now is a great time to get on an installment agreement and work that out. The installment agreement may not officially go through right away, but a lot of them will if you do it online, if you have a pretty straightforward situation. So if you don't want your passport to get revoked when the IRS opens back up, make sure you file for an installment agreement with the IRS. And last but not least, non-filers, people that have not filed their taxes in the last 3 years, back to 2016, you should absolutely be filing your taxes right now, because many of you are missing out on a tax refund. Many of you are missing out on a tax refund, so you want to get all of those processed. Now, there's a 3-year grace or a 3-year back period that the IRS will give you to get your tax refund. So we're going back to 2016. So you want to make sure that you file your taxes this year, 2019. This is the 2019 tax return season. I know it's 2020, but it's a 2019 tax return season. So you want to make sure you file your 2019, your 2018, your 2017, and your 2016 tax returns. They make sure you get all your refunds. We give the government enough money that they get the whole interest-free long enough. All right. So every Wednesday I do Ask Kamari Wednesdays from, well, we said we're going to change the time. So we said 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock on Wednesday, I'll be back answering all your questions, answering them live. If anybody has any questions they want to send me, they can send them to 484-278-1357. Again, 484-278-1357. If you have any questions, stock, tax, insurance, business related, I answer it all. I usually get on at 7. We've changed it. We're going to go to 8 now because I've always been late for my 7 o'clock because I'm either talking to a client or sometimes I'm having dinner with the family. So I want to get here on time, be here for you guys, answer all your questions, and rock out. Again, if anybody has any questions, just let me know. Text them over to me. Last but not least, if you're watching this, share it, but also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to do more numbers on YouTube. I'm trying to increase my presence on YouTube. So go on over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you like my stuff, if you don't like it, just ignore me, right? But the YouTube channel is youtube.com/Kamari Ellis, CAMARIELLIS /Kamari Ellis. So until the next time, hit me up again if you have any questions, but I'll be back with the next video, with the next podcast very, very soon. Have a great day, everybody.